Hola, bienvenidos a la cuarta semana de estos videos. So this week, in week 4, we're going to be looking at the present and the preterite tenses. Before we look more closely at those, though, we'll have a look at the near future tense, which is what we saw last time. So you've got 3 kinds of starters. Do them all, please. And it's basically using the vocab from last week. So for these, for A1, 2, and 3, you've just got to rearrange the Spanish words to make the English sentences. For B, you've got the first letter of each word to try and translate this phrase, I'm going to eat paella, with the hints here that the first word begins with a V, next one's an A, and then C, and then P. And then finally, just to translate C, 1, 2, 3. Have a go first, please, without using your fact book. And then if you do get stuck for B and C, you can use your fact book, but hopefully A will give you some clue as how to go about doing B particularly, and then hopefully C. So pause the video now and have a go at those. And those are your answers. I think last time, remember, we saw this new phrase, hay que. So hay que is used with an infinitive, just like vamos a or voy a. So the word after a is an infinitive. So ver or visitar, ver, and then ir are all infinitives. And then same here, voy a comer. So, like I said right at the start, we're going to look at the present and preterite tenses. Now we're going to use basically the same vocab as you saw last week, but just in a different tense. So we're going to use a lot of the same verbs. So the verb to eat, the verb to swim, to take, as in to take photos. But we're just going to use them in a different tense. So you've got a lot of vocab already in your fact book, but for now, if you just close that, don't look at it for now, because I'd just like you to make a note of this vocab here. Well, not actually make a note of it, just put 1 to 8 and then match it with the letter, so you don't have to write out the whole I do my homework with whatever it matches with. Just match the number to the letter. Think as well as you're matching about the verb endings. So some of these are in the present tense, like I do my homework, I swim, I take, I sunbathe, and then some are in the past tense. So I ate, I bought, I played, I relaxed. So think about the difference between the present tense ones and the past tense ones, particularly the verb endings. So match those up and then see if you spot a pattern. So pause the video now. Okay, so those are the matched up answers. Hopefully you will have seen the pattern, which is the present tense ones, so the red ones, all end in an O. And then the past tense ones end in either an E with an accent or an I with an accent. So that's because if you're saying I in the present tense, so I do, I swim, I take, I sunbathe, I play, the verb is always going to end in an O. And it's however the verb ends in Spanish tells you who is doing the verb and what tense it's in. And that's what we're going to look at. You know all this, to be honest, already. But that's what we're going to look at today. So, like last time with the future tense, you've got the English up here, I visit, and I want you to tell me which, A, B, or C, which one of these options means I visit. I've given you the infinitive here so you know that it's an AR verb. And to do this, it's really important to know whether it's an AR verb, ER verb, IR verb, because you'll be looking at different columns depending on if it's AR, ER, IR. So if it's an AR verb, you're looking at this column here, it's jugar, and then the endings are the bits after the dash. So that's for the present tense AR verbs. And then if this was the past tense, if this was I visited, you'd be looking in the yellow box, and you'd be looking at this one here, because this is for the AR verbs, and then these are the endings. Again, the endings is the bit after the dash. And for this, I don't want you to just tell me what the answer is. I want you to also tell me what the other options mean. So after each one of these, please pause it so you can work at your own pace. But I want you to tell me which one is the right answer, which one of the options means I visit, and what the other two options also mean. So after each one, I'll remind you to pause the video. But yeah, so if we do this one together, I visit is going to be visito, because as we see here, it's an AR verb, ends in an O, so the AR has been taken off, it's been replaced with an O. And it says on the left hand side here, I, it's the present tense, it says I visit. So these other two mean, if this ends in an AS, it's going to be you, because there's the ending. You visit. This is an O with an accent, and none of these end in an O with an accent. So we look down here, remembering that it's an AR verb, and it's here is the O with an accent. So it's he, she, or it, and because this is the past tense, it would be now visited. So this means he visited, or she visited, or it visited. Okay, so the next one. We visited. Pause the video now and have a think about what the right answer is and what the other two mean. Okay, so it's visitamos. You will have probably noticed as well, hopefully, that the amos ending is the same in the present tense and the past tense. So you can only tell whether that's we visited or we visit through the context of the text or of when someone's speaking. Visitaron then means they visited. It's this ending here, and it's they. And then visitais, none of these end in ice, so it's this one here. So it's you plural or you all visit. Okay, pause the video. And he swam is nado, because it's an O with an accent, and it's he, she, it. Nade is going to be I swam, and nada is going to be, the ending is there, A. So it's he, she, it swims. Because remember, this top box, this orange box, is the present tense. So he swims, I swam, he swam, or she swam. It could be as well. Pause the video. You take photos, singular, is going to be sacas. Saca, again the ending is with an A, so it's going to be he, she, or it takes photos. And saco is going to be I take photos. If it was saco with an accent, that would then make it he, she, or it took photos. Pause the video. And they watch is going to be ven. Vieron, the ending is that, all of that there, vieron. And hopefully you remember to look that this is an ER verb, so you're looking at this side. So vieron is this one here, so it's they watched, past tense, they watched. And veo, this is an irregular one, but hopefully you'll have seen that it just ends in with an O, without an accent, so it's this one here, so it's I watch. So I watch, they watched, they watch. Pause the video. We ate is going to be comimos. And then this one here, comen, means It's this one here, so you've already got it for you. It's they eat. Be is they eat, and then comemos is we eat, because it's this ending here. You bought. Pause the video. You bought is going to be compraste, because it's this ending here. And then compras, with just the AS, is going to be this one here. So it's you buy. And then compran is this ending. So it's going to be they buy. So these two are both the present tense. This is the past tense because it ends in aste. I think this is the last one. So I ate. Remember, it's an ER verb this time. Pause the video. And it's going to be comi, because it's this ending here. Come is this one here. So it's he, she, it eats. And comimos means we ate. It's this ending here. Okay, for this next activity, you're going to conjugate the verbs yourself. So, for each one of these, 1 to 10, you're going to have to look at the verb in brackets and conjugate it in the right way. So take off the AR and add on the correct ending, depending on who the subject is. So the subject means just means like the person who is doing the verb. So here we've got my sister. So we're going to use visitar, so it's going to be a form of visit. So these are all in the present tense, by the way. So it's going to be my sister visits her friends. So if it's my sister, you need to think about which ending you're going to use. So which row are you going to use? The I, you, he, she, it, we, you plural, or they. Well, if it's my sister, use some common sense. That's going to be she. So you're going to have to use this ending here. If we look at a couple more together, so let's have a look at this one here, so number 3. So a veces, okay, so this first one's going to be mi hermana visita, so it's going to be with an A on the end. Mi hermana visita a sus amigos. This one is a veces mis padres y yo, a form of ver, which means like to watch, la televisión. So the subject, the people or the person doing the verb is mis padres y yo, which means my parents and I. I think last week I mentioned how you, a quick way to know which form of the verb you need is to say a simple sentence like my parents and I are nice. And then if you replace my parents and I with a pronoun, so if you don't want to say my parents and I, you'd say we. So my parents and I are nice. So you'd say we are nice. So you look at this row here. So so you're not going to actually need this ending, because remember it's an ER verb. So you need this column here. So it's going to be a veces mis padres y yo vemos, because remember you take off the ER, you add on hemos. So it's going to be, you're left with just vemos la televisión. And let's do one more together. Let's do this one, number 7. This is mis padres. It's an AR verb, so we need this column here. Mis padres, and then you're going to say sunbathe. Well, if you say my parents are nice, and you don't want to say my parents, you'd say they are nice. So you use this row here, and you need this ending. So it's going to be mis padres toman el sol. This one here is a question, so it's going to be, you're going to use the you form. So it's going to be like, do you drink lemonade? That's going to be the question. Okay, so pause the video, have a go at that. And then here are your answers. So we went through this one. Mi hermana visita a sus amigos. This is normally my friends and I. So if it's my friends and I, it's going to be we. And it's an AR verb, so descansamos. nel parque, so that means normally my friends and I relax in the park. Sometimes, I will do this one together, vemos. Mi hermano nunca come paella. So comer is an ER verb, so you need this column here. And it's my brother, so that's a he. So it's this come. Mi amigo siempre compra recuerdos. So my friend always buys souvenirs. Again, it's my friend. It's with an O ending, so it's a friend who happens to be a boy. So it's going to be this ending here. Mis amigos practican. Well, mis amigos is plural, so it's my friends, plural. So that's the they form. Because if you'd say my friends are nice, and you don't want to say my friend, you'd say they are nice. So that's this one here. We do this one together. Toman el sol. Bebes. It's an ER verb, and you're saying you. So do you drink lemonade? Mi amiga nada en el mar. So my friend swims in the sea. This is my friend who happens to be a girl because it ends in an A. So it's the she row. And then normally my friend, who happens to be a girl, and I take photos. So if it's my friend and I, that's a we. This is the same thing, but with the present, with the preterite tense, so with the past tense. Again, you've got the verb in brackets. So make sure you're looking if it's an ER or an AR or an IR verb. ER and IR verbs have the same ending, but I don't think there's any IR verbs here anyway. Oh, I'm missing a. The verb here should be comprar. Okay, so pause the video, have a go at that. Think about the subject of the verb, obviously. This first one's my friends and I, so think if that's going to be I, you, he, she, we. Pause the video. And then mis amigos y yo comimos. Because it's my friends and I, so it's we ate a lot of Spanish food. Mis amigos is they, because it's plural. My friends are nice, they are nice. Jugaron, so it's this one here. Mi madre is a she, nadó en la piscina, so my mum swam in the pool. Mi amiga, again, is a she. Visitó, visited the zoo, this ending. Mis padres y yo, so my parents and I, we took photos. There's the ending. This is did you buy souvenirs? So you've used this ending here. El año pasado, mis padres visitaron España. So last year, my parents, plural, visited Spain. So again, it's that ending. My friends and I, we relaxed on the beach. Mi hermano vio la televisión. Here you don't need an accent because it's irregular. So it's my brother, who is a he, and it's an ER verb because it's ver. So you need this ending. And just to reiterate, it's irregular, so you don't need the accent. But here you do need the accent, and it's an ER verb again, so it's comió. My friend ate paella. Okay, so you've got two texts here. The first text is all in the present tense. The second text is all in the past tense. So for this, you can use your fact book. You've got a lot of the verbs. I think you've got all of the verbs you actually need in here already. So refer back to this. This is the present tense side. That's the past tense side. And I'd like you just to find all of the verbs in the text. So the verbs are these words here, the first words, the words that are underlined, and it's also the words which you've been filling in here. So find all the verbs and tell me how many of the I form there are, how many of the he, she, it form there are, how many of the we form there are, and how many of the they form there are. So if we have a go at doing a few of those together, if you just read the sentence. So the first sentence, normalmente voy de vacaciones a Francia con mi familia. So in English that means normally I go on holiday to France with my family. So the verb there in English is I go. And in Spanish, that's voy. So that's the first verb you found. And because it's I go, boy, this is an irregular one, and you've got it here in your fact book. You've got one for the I. Let's have a look at the next sentence. Es alucinante porque vamos todos los días a la playa. Okay, so it is fantastic. Alucinante is alucinante is there. So it's awesome. So that's your first verb. Porque vamos todos los días a la playa. Vamos is an irregular one, but it ends in a mos, so hopefully we've recognised that that's a verb, and it's going to be we. So vamos means we go, so we can put a tally there. An S, not forgetting that means it is, so that's a verb. Tally there. Then if we go up to the full stop, donde descansamos, so where, and again it ends in an amos, where we relax. So that's another one for we. And if we do some here as well together, this is the same thing, we're just finding the verbs in the past tense. Let's start here actually. No compré recuerdos, pero hice muchas cosas. So with the verb ending with an accent, hopefully you recognise that that's I bought, but it's actually I didn't buy because it's got a no at the front. So no compré. Again, there it is in your fact book. So you can put a tally for that. Pero hice muchas cosas. This is an irregular one, which is in your fact book. It means I did. Hice deportes, so hice is I did, and you can add anything else you want after it. So hice deportes, hice muchas cosas. So we can put another one for it. And then let's go down to here. Mi madre sacó fotos. So my mum took photos. So that's a he, she form. So you can put a tally there. So pause the video now and see, first of all, how many present tense verbs you can find and tell me if it's I, you, he, she, it, we or they, and tally how many there are, and then do the same thing for the past tense verbs. So pause the video. So here are your answers. So you've got 4 I verbs. So you've got boy, como, so I eat, nado en el mar, and then hago, which is I do. 2 of these are irregular, so boy and hago are 2 really important ones to remember. You've got technically 4 he or she, it verbs, but I didn't expect you to recognise es and chifla. So bebe and compra were the main 2 ones that I hoped you'd recognise. So with mi hermana, my sister, drinks lemonade, and then mi hermana, my sister, buys recuerdos, which is souvenirs. 4 we verbs. So vamos, we do that one together, we go. Descansamos, we relax. And then you've got my family and I, we take photos. And then tomamos el sol, nunca tomamos el sol, we never sunbathe. Then there's 1 they, and it's with my parents. Juegan, with the an ending, they play volleyball. Then the preterite tense ones. Fui, I went, which is in your fact book as one of the important irregular ones. Hice, another important irregular one. Fui again. Compré, I bought. And then visité, I visited. 3 he, she, it ones. Fue, which is just the past tense of es. So it was. Mi madre sacó, my mum took photos. And then I didn't really expect you to get this one. But it's good if you did, if you recognise the O with an accent ending. Then 3 we. Vimos, we saw, we watched a game of football. Comimos, we ate. And then lo pasamos fantástico. Hopefully you will have recognised the amos, even if you didn't necessarily know what it meant. But lo pasamos fantástico means we had a great time. And there's no they forms. Lo pasé fantástico is in your fact book. So if you change the E with an accent ending for amos, you go from I had a fantastic time to we had a fantastic time. Okay, so using the same texts, just have a go at answering these questions. So you've got some options as well. How often do they go to the beach? How often do they eat ice cream? Why don't they sunbathe? And then when do they do sports? So pause the video, have a go at those questions. Those are your answers. So todos los días is every day they go to the beach. Siempre means always. Why don't they sunbathe? No nos chifla. We had this in week 1 when we looked at opinion phrases because we don't like it. And then when do they do sports? And it's in the afternoon. Por la tarde. And then using the second paragraph, answer these questions. When did they go to London? Have a look if you can find one of the time phrases that we saw in week 2. Complete the translation. I liked it because. So it's this opinion phrase but in the past tense. So continue with the translation. Complete the translation and then complete this translation here. Something, but I did a lot of things. I did a lot of things is in your fact book. And then complete this translation. My mum took photos because. And finish off whatever is there. So pause the video, have a go at that. So it was last year, el año pasado. Because London is incredible. Me chifló porque Londres es increíble. I didn't buy souvenirs, but I did a lot of things. So, but I did a lot of things is this bit here, pero hice muchas cosas. And this bit here means I didn't buy souvenirs. And complete this translation. My mum took photos because. Mi madre sacó fotos porque le flipa la fotografía. Because she's crazy about le flipa. We had that in the first week to mean like she's crazy about in our opinion phrases. And the final little activity, I would just like you to translate each one of these verbs. So look at the ending, and you'll also need to know what the stem part means. So this compre is from comprar. So I'm not going to tell you what it means. If you want to, you can look back in your fact book, but hopefully you can remember some of this vocab from today. Visitaron is probably the easiest one. So use the endings that you've got here, the tables, to work out what each verb actually means. So pause the video and have a go. Okay, so compré means I bought. Visito means I visit. If it was visitó with an accent over the O, it will be he or she visited. Come means he or she eats. Oh, actually, you've got it in your table there. Visitaron means they visited. And jugaste is from the verb jugar, which means to play. And that means you played. So it's this ending here, you played. Okay, so this is what your fact book looks like. I would just like you to learn the verbs that are underlined, because those are probably the most relevant ones. And you've also got some ones which are irregular, like boy is irregular, hago is irregular, juego is irregular, and then hice is irregular, fui, vi. Actually, B is not regular. It should have an accent, I suppose. Fue is a good irregular one to know. So the words underlined are for you to know. You don't necessarily need to have to know what comes after, because you can just replace como means I eat, but you don't always have to eat chips, so you can replace patatas fritas with something else. So the words underlined are the most important ones to learn for next week.